We want to take a moment to welcome everybody to the Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor, and I have my collaborator and cooperator here, Young Sam. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, it's Young Sam, aka Mike Angelo. You know, the guy.
That's your favorite turtle?
Yeah.
Okay. I was always a Raphael. That's
It
my whole
matches.
life.
It
Okay.
matches.
Yeah, it's all right. With this podcast, we're gonna give you the definitive decision on whether you should go view a new movie release or not. It's real easy. If we say watch this shit, stop what you're doing, and enjoy some good cinema. If we say don't watch this shit, avoid it like a person who has roaches in their apartment, or don't do what you want. It may be fun, or it may cost you whatever the exterminator deems necessary to get those vermin out your life. You don't want to listen to us? You put your life in your own hands. On today's card, whew,
Mhm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Knick Knack, Patty Whack, Greater Missionary Baptist, Down Down Baby, Down by the Roller Coaster. One, one of the fucking problems with reboots, TMNT is already a lot of words. Now to differentiate it from the older and better films, we just got to start attacking words on the end of the title. It's not cool. Not sure why Hollywood. Well, I am sure it's money. It's always money. That's the answer. But I'm asking, please, please stop. If you don't have something better than what has come before, don't remake things that were already great. Hey, let's try this. Going forward, we will only remake movies that were ill received. All the bad movies, make them hoes again. All the good movies, continue the stories. I just saw the problem of the film industry. Uh, just, running my mouth on the podcast. Anything you want to add before I jump into the synopsis, young Sam?
Yeah, it was I get your point. I like the movie, but we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Okay, so let me knock them out with this riveting synopsis. All right, let's do this again. The story. I'm getting carried here. An ancient feud between Orokosaki and Hamato travels from the shores of Japan all the way to New York City. The roots of the two ninja masters' hatred rest in the love of the beautiful Ting Shin, who chose Yoshi. Saki tracks Yoshi to the city where the two battle. Shin gets killed. So is Yoshi, whose pet rat, Splinter, strikes out at Saki, marking him forever. The rat is flung out the window and takes refuge in a sewer, no longer having his master and home for safety. He stumbles upon four baby turtles covered in a glowing green ooze and becomes their father and caretaker. The rat later realizes the ooze is changing their genetic makeup. They are becoming more than basic animals and taking on human characteristics, including consciousness. He trains them in the ways of his deceased master, the ways of ninjutsu, all in the effort that one day they will grow strong enough to avenge the family that was stolen from him. Now,
Mm.
if you see the movie, you're thinking, what the hell, Seneca, the movie professor? That didn't happen. And you're right. That synopsis was from a much better turtle property. And the funny thing is, I can do this shit all day. I could read no less than 10 better synopsis origins for what this movie could have been and should have been. But the real one is this. Seth Rogen produced the movie and wanted to find a way to get the turtles into high school. For some reason, he was really stuck on the teenage adjective of the title and worked some freaking sorcery to get
Mm.
these mutant abominations into a human public school system. You can throw out everything else I said except the fact that four baby turtles were found covered in ooze by a rat. Everything else in the movie was set up with the end goal in mind of getting them to high school. Even if it didn't line up with the expectations of cause and effect, by the time this movie ends, they have to be in school.
That's true.
I may be I may be too close to the source on this one. If you talk to my mom, she'll tell you Ninja Turtles was my life. Every waking moment of my childhood was filled with thinking about Ninja Turtles, the toys, the games, drawing them. I even ate the stupid Ninja Turtle Hostess pastry. It was fucking gross. Green cream filling? What dumbass adult suggested that? The comics, the RPG, and of course the cartoon. I consumed TNT material my entire life and am well versed in most iterations of the property. I know people take liberties and put their own stamp on the series, but most at least respect some aspect of what came before. This new one is the most divorced from the core of Turtles that I've ever seen. Just on that. Um, Sam, what did you think about the fact that it was basically just Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it, but I looked at it as they wanted to reboot it for a new generation. That's that's
Mhm.
that's what I took out of it because it strays away from what Ninja Turtles originally was, and it just takes a completely different route. And like say they're trying to get them to high school, get them to school or whatever, but I feel that for what it did, for the new generation, it kinda introduces them to Ninja Turtles, and then it's like, "Oh, so maybe they can do their own research." That's how I feel about it.
Okay, no, I get that, and honestly, you would be hard pressed to find any 5-year period of history where the Turtles didn't have a new iteration, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Freaking 40-year property and it's still going strong, and there's been so many different changes and different renditions of it. Um, this was a passion project of Seth Rogen. He has been on a winning streak recently. The Boys and Invincible are both adaptations of comic properties that he put his own spin on, and they make brilliant television series. The difference is those two properties don't have this many interpretations in other media. If you didn't read the comics, you don't have any point of reference, meaning way more freedom. This one is too deep rooted in its history. He's like you said, new generation, he's gonna lose the core audience. He's gonna lose the people who actually grew up loving this stuff.
Hmm.
Right. Now let's get to the cast. I gotta take another deep breath. Woo, the cast. Following the same thing, because everything he did, everything he had in mind was about this high school element. He held it in such high regards that they cast teenagers to play the voices of the four turtles. This is an interesting idea in theory and something that has never been done before. It is on the surface, it's creative. It's a creative stance to take. But in practice, the idea sucks. The creatures on screen do not look like those voices come out of those faces. Most voiceover work is done not by child actors because it typically takes a lot of years of work to become adept at acting with only your voice. Not saying it's impossible for a younger person to do well in those roles. I'm just saying they didn't do well in the roles here. The worst offender is the kid that voices Donatello. His name is Micah Abbey. He sounds like a baby. When I saw the trailer, I knew I knew it was gonna be a problem for me. When I saw the movie, it was even more so. I hated every ounce of his dialogue. I don't want to personally attack him. So I'll just say this. None of the kids met my basic expectations for good turtle dialogue and banner.
What?
Put some damn bass in your voice, oh squeaky voice little boy.
And see, I liked Michelangelo. Like, I liked him as the comedic relief. And I felt like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, the others, yeah, they sucked. But I felt like Michelangelo, like I could see Michelangelo playing that because I feel like he's the goofy one. And that kid, I mean, the lines,
And
and he was doing the best with what he got in my
yeah,
eyes.
see, there you go. Yeah, yeah, doing the best with what he got, but what he got wasn't good. And Mikey could have been the least offensive to me of all the other characters. Yeah, because he is the more carefree one, right? The
Mhm.
more just kind of go with the flow. But I've seen it done better 20 other times. Even the Michael Bay MC Mikey, the elevator scene, right? See, that's very memorable. I remember that.
Hey, man.
I don't I can't think of anything that he said in his movie that's going to carry me and say, "You know what? He really brought out the spirit of Michelangelo with that
That dude
performance."
say he's getting mollywopped, man. That had me dying.
He did say that was that. You know what? I'll give you that. That was funny. But it was a callback from Ice Cube's character saying he had the Molly Whopper guy earlier in the movie. All right. So speaking of fighting, the one positive for me was the choreographed action scenes,
Oh.
especially the first one. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, when they were taking on the human assailants in the car shop, the use of the environment, it was very reminiscent of somebody doing a Rumble in the Bronx copy.
Hmm.
which makes sense because they had Jackie Chan play Splinter, right?
Mhm.
Um, the only problem with that is that the action scenes after that, they were given less time to develop. The one with the 4 different raids
Yeah.
where they, went to the mob bosses' hideouts and the montage and each one of the 4 being focused on each different mission,
Mhm.
it was great. And then they did one more scene which showcased Splinter. He was using his karate knowledge, um, which the mutants learned from videotapes. I don't even wanna I don't even wanna
You
get
know, touch
I
on
don't
that.
even wanna unpack that. Yeah, it's going because it's going to anger me. But he used the chair in the fight sequence, kind of reminiscent of Secret of the Ooze, kind of reminiscent of some Jackie Chan stunts.
Mhm.
That was interesting. And then for the finale, they felt the need to end it on a kaiju battle that made no rational sense. I know we're watching a movie with 4 giant talking turtles,
Mhm.
but you're gonna tell me that a fly is going to get covered in ooze twice and then gain the power to attach other animals to himself and grow as big as a building. Get out of here. Stop. Get out of here. and and the worst part, if that was what happened, if the Superfly became as tall as a building and the turtles and other mutants had to fight him to save the city, there is no way that you can get to the conclusion that after this battle is over, they're going to high school. No, these motherfuckers are going to be locked up in a government facility and be experimented on forever until they die.
What do you say? Gonna suck the drain. They gonna milk them. They gonna milk
Milk 'em.
them.
Milk 'em. Uh, and then they milked him. So there's a running gag in the movie where Splinter doesn't want the turtles to go to the surface because he feels that the humans are going to hate them and they're going to capture them and they're going to milk the blood out of
Mhm.
them. And the turtles are like, we don't have nipples, we're reptiles, whatever. They actually catch the turtles and they milk them. And I don't understand if that's their blood that was green or how did they get the ooze out of them? It was,
I mean,
try not to use the word stupid. It was stupid.
you had green turtles with green blood or
No,
whatever that was.
no,
We don't know it. We don't even know where it came from, to be honest.
uh-huh, which is another shortcoming
Because they
of
didn't.
the script.
But I also felt like there was some like kind of adult moments in there. Like
Like,
there were some adult jokes that was just some soundtrack choices, some music choices, like "Oh baby,
for
I
sure.
like it raw." I was like, wait a minute, you can't
Yeah, that
be
shimmy shimmy gotcha. Yeah, that's a good
like
song.
you can't be.
But it didn't fit.
It didn't fit. It was like
Mhm.
that, and then the whole the when they were milking them, it was like, where are they milk? Like kids, they just see that they're milking them, but adults, they're
Right.
like, man, I know where
The
this,
implications of where is this really
I know
happening?
where that
Yeah.
tube's at.
S so this movie tried to have it both ways. It tried to be goofy and silly for the kids, and then it tried to throw in, like, slight adult humor, but I don't think it meshed well. And even worse, the worst meshing was the animation.
Oh yeah. Oh.
This ain't no damn Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I didn't like the animation.
Mhm.
Like it was one scene where the eyes didn't line up, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Everything in the world was generic and at most times just plain ugly. Like you said, the eyes didn't match. There was character models that were not asymmetrical.
mhm,
If you looked at the human characters, one side of the face may be misshapen or larger than the other side. It didn't make sense.
at all.
It normal effects that we take for granted in other CGI movies, like rising smoke after an explosion. This movie, they just scribbled on the screen. Like, like like little kids color with crayons and they try to fill it in and they're little hands. They can't handle nuance yet.
Mhm.
And they just scribble. That's what it looked like. And not a talented kid, not somebody who's gonna grow up to be a
Ugh.
Picasso. I would go so far as saying that this is the worst looking CGI film I've seen since the 90s.
Hmm, okay,
I I can't think of one worse unless I'm not counting asylum films. That's a whole different thing.
okay.
Don't look it up.
Ye
It's
Yeah, that was a fault is I didn't like I didn't like the art. It was not good in my opinion.
Hmm. And what called even more attention to it is there were times in the movie where they would use live action footage spliced into the world of the movie.
Mhm.
The Turtles went to a movie in the park where they watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Amidst the ugly world of Mutant Mayhem, you see footage of a movie on the screen. It's very off-putting, and I mean, I gotta compare it to Spider-Verse, right? That's my favorite movie of the year, and they were able to mix so many different types of animation and live action styles and have it look like a work of art. Some of the worlds in Spider-Verse weren't complete, like, they didn't finish the rendering or the animation, but they used those techniques to differentiate the elements to enhance the story, to show the differences between the realities of Spider-Man's world. Here is just fucking lazy.
Mhm. I agree. I agree on that.
All right. So, leading to my next complaint, and it ties right into the animation, is the character design. Mutant Mayhem wants to throw a lot of characters on the screen, and they don't even get developed. All in an attempt to make its mark on redesigning these classic characters, but only to make them gross. All of the background mutants, Bebop, Rocksteady, Mondo Gecko, Wingnut, Leatherhead, Genghis Frog, and the worst offender, Scumbug,
Mm.
are gross and childish renditions of mostly great characters in other form of turtles. I never liked Scumbug, no matter what story it's in. Is That's the roach. No, thank you. You can keep all that shit. But Bebop and Rocksteady, oh my gosh. Um, and these are the characters that were voiced by big name actors.
Mhm.
The Paul Rudds, the Rose Brings, the John Cena's, even Seth Rogen voiced the pig for a second time in his career.
Mhm.
Starting to see a theme with him. Uh, but they were basically non-characters. They were just there to sell toys and to say that they used the title Mutant Mayhem properly.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that. I
Mm,
see that, 'cause when Rocksteady and Bebop were there, it's just like they were just introduced. It was like, okay. I
mhm.
mean, these guys are in all the Ninja Turtles I can think of. So, like, I feel like their presence should have been a little bit more, but it was like, "Eh, we're here."
Yeah, they need their own storylines. They need their own motivations. They they're not sidekicks to a made up villain.
Right.
That's not the proper use of those characters.
Mm.
And spoiler for the grossest scene I've seen in a long. Splinter kissed the damn roach in the mouth during the battle. this mother, this freaking rat fell in love with a giant cockroach, and they developed a romantic relationship, and they tongue kissed at the end of the movie.
That's Seth Rogen for you.
It's childish, correct? Yeah, the gross out puke scene that he did with April O'Neil. I didn't even put April O'Neil in my review. That's how that's how poorly I feel about that character.
Uh,
They had a gross out scene where she projectile vomited maybe 3 minutes.
yeah. Ew.
Childish. N- n- Not cool, dude. Like his honestly, his sensibilities don't cohesively mesh with Turtles. I get it. Turtles used to be a very serious property when it first came out. It was a parody of Daredevil, and in the first issue, the Turtles killed maybe 150 humans that were foot soldiers, and the Shredder. They blew him up with a grenade.
Yeah, it was
they
hardcore.
wasn't they wasn't fucking around. So when it came time to adapt them to a children's series, they cleaned all that up. They put on the different color bandanas. They put the little name, the letter on the belt buckles. They rounded out the weapons so that they didn't look so pointy and dangerous. And they gave them these different personalities, like the party dude, the sarcastic dude. In the comics, all these dudes was basically Batman, but a Batman that kills.
No, it was killers. Mhm.
Yeah, and oh, there's a turtle property, the one from 2003. But at the end of that series, they did a special. movie extended episode that had turtles from all different generations. So they had the 80s turtles in there, and they also had the original black and white turtles in there. And they were psychopaths.
Mm.
They would stand atop of buildings. I'm on top of the building, looking down at the city who sleeps but won't sleep for long when I jab my sigh into the brain. Like they, and it all came from these two guys, Eastman and Laird, just trying to make each other laugh and make something so hilarious and serious and ridiculous that nobody else would make it but them. And that's what they did. And that's what it came from. Um, it lost its way over time. But there have been some people that tried to bring it back. The 1990s movie, that was a very serious take and adapted two very popular stories of the original comic, the origin and the war for New York. And I say, watch that. Watch that. Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. You've heard me quote that millions of times.
These dudes got
Pizza
30.
Dude's got 30. That's a Michelangelo quote for you. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Do you want to say anything before I hit final verdict?
I mean, I liked I liked the soundtrack. The soundtrack got it for me because it just I liked that they took it to a more they brought the film up to date. Had a lot of pop culture references, and it really just when the movie theater I watched it in, it was a lot of kids and a lot of kids were laughing. So I was like, it. I feel like it set out what it accomplished what it set out to do was to entertain kids. Um, and have adults, the parents along with them that have some humor jokes or some dirty jokes in there. But like I said, I like the soundtrack. I like Michelangelo. Um, and that's just my take on it.
Okay. I respect that, but I ain't giving these niggas shit. Don't watch this shit. Absolutely nothing to see here. Get on Netflix, watch the original 1990 movie, watch the Nick series from 2012. Or if you really want to get deep into it, check out the amazing story that IDW is doing in the comics. But whatever you do, stay far away from this film. They really tried to assassinate my childhood. People say it and they use it they use this shit way too loosely, but these motherfuckers really took it there. No, thank you, not my turtles.
you, you didn't like the Go Ninja, Go. You know, like
No, that that wasn't even good in the second movie. I didn't. By the time Secret of the Ooze came out, Vanilla Ice was already played out. Vanilla Ice had one hit. People don't know this shit. Vanilla Ice had one hit, and it was Ice Ice Baby.
that's true.
And on the back of that, he got movie roles. He had a whole movie. I think it's called Cold as Ice. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
You have two for
And
one
he got to
today.
be. Yeah, oh yeah, we getting them today. We getting them. Everybody can get it. They fucked up my turtles. Anybody can get it now. And they put Go Ninja Go in the turtle movie. And when I was a little bitty kid, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Why are the turtles dancing when they got people to fight?
This
As a kid, I thought
this
this.
one was serious since a kid.
Yeah, it was.
Oh man, I say if you if you're a parent and you got some badass kids at home that won't sit down and shut up, take them to the movie and watch it. They'll be entertained for a little bit, and you can get a little peace and quiet until you go back home and they ripping your shit apart. But
No, I'm not trying to do ninja flips off the damn couch.
I say watch it, but don't go in there expecting a lot. So, because it's not there. I mean, I I hate to say it, but I hated Superfly. I hated that character.
Mhm.
Um, it just the way Ice Cube delivered some lines, it was just like he was just reading. It was just not good. I didn't even know Post Malone was in the movie, so
He was the one. Oh my god, he was Ray Fillet. I didn't even write him in my thing, but he kept singing his name. That was
oh,
his
that was
whole
him.
character.
Oh,
Yeah, that was his whole character. Is he wanted to sing his name, and everybody was like, "That's not cool.
stupid.
Stop." Seth Rogen took this. I'm gonna tell you what he did. He took this as a chance to get all his friends and all the people that he wanted to meet and get them a check. Yeah, Ice Cube, Rose Brand,
John John
Paul Rudd. Those is homies.
Giancarlo?
Yeah, oh, one scene. Esposito is in one scene. One of the greatest actors, character actors of modern day.
Hey, man.
Freaking freaking Gus.
Mm. Gus got him a check.
Got him a check and got up out of there. Oh,
Yeah, well,
yeah, no, thank you.
yeah, so I
Big no, thank you.
think that's our review on it.
It is. And thank you everybody for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You come here for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a new movie or not. If you haven't seen this shit yet, go on about your life. Don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, you're doing good. You're doing damn good. And check us out next time when we review They Clone Tyrone.
Oh,
And good day
shit.
to you.